Good evening, everyone. Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Shutt here with your weather update. And we continue to track these lake effect snow showers across our area. We've been dealing with these snow showers on and off, a lot of flurries mainly, but some snow showers in the mix as well. And we're going to be dealing with a lot of the same as we go through the night and even going through tomorrow. It's not until tomorrow night that a lot of what we're seeing across our area will be tapering off. So up until that point, we can wake up to some more coatings again tomorrow morning. And in general, we could be dealing with some coatings again in spots as we go through tomorrow before again we'll finally see this taper off then tomorrow night. So while it's not a lot, even that coating can cause some slick spots on our roads, may cause you to have to spend some time to clear that car off in the morning if it's parked outside. So just some things to keep in mind here as we go into tomorrow morning. And then again, as we go throughout Wednesday as well, as we could still deal with some coatings and spots even going throughout the day tomorrow. But thanks for joining me this evening. Let's jump into things. There's like a live look at radar right now across the area. And again, like I mentioned, we're going to see a lot of the same what we saw going throughout today. Some flurries, some snow showers in the mix going through the night and into tomorrow as well. As high pressure builds into the region, this is what's going to cut off a lot of these lake effect snow showers. And that'll be occurring by the tomorrow night. So again, even early on tomorrow night, leading up closer to midnight, we can still have some snow showers in place, but at midnight and on, this is when we'll dry up. And we could see some clearing in our skies tomorrow night, better odds for that clearing than going through Thursday. So yes, a return of some sunshine, but it doesn't do much to warm us up. Our temperatures, it's so cold Thursday, they'll be into the 20s. Now, what this clearing will do is allow for even colder temperatures by Friday morning. We're likely waking up into the single digits by Friday morning. So you could say our attention now will be these snow showers. Their attention will then turn after these snow showers taper off to just a frigid Friday morning. So that's our main story here near term, as again, snow showers through tomorrow night. And then by Friday morning, a frigid start to the day with those low temperature single digits. I will say, thankfully, at least we don't have to deal with wind chills that morning. While those wind speeds are light to calm, certainly allows those temperatures to bottom out. But thankfully, again, not going to feel much colder than it already is, thankfully, by Friday morning, as we could be dealing with some very cold wind chills, to say the least, if we had a breeze in place with those single-digit temperatures. So you could say that's the silver lining in terms of Friday morning. While it's going to be very cold, at least we won't have to deal with those wind chills being a factor as well by Friday morning. And from there, then our attention will turn by Friday evening even into Saturday, a return of more widespread snow. So we've got really three things to concentrate on here going into the weekend. Again, that first thing is going to be these snow showers in place through tomorrow. Now, again, it doesn't deliver much. We're likely talking snow accumulations on the order of just a coating to an inch going through tomorrow. And again, keep in mind it's scattered, right? These snow showers more scattered in nature, so are accumulations. But where we do see some of the measurable accumulation, we can certainly see some slippery road conditions at times. So it's really, to sum it up, across the area, more of slick spots, right? Not all of our roadways across the area are going to be slippery, but certainly in spots, they can be at times. So just use some caution when traveling overnight and again going through tomorrow before road conditions improve through Thursday, leading into our frigid Friday morning. And those low temperatures, there they are, into the single digits starting off Friday morning. Now, this is our one and only morning we have here going through the weekend where it's this cold. We're going to see a lot of what we've seen as of recent, more teens, around 20 degrees for a low. That's what we're seeing for a lot of this stretch going through the weekend. But the exception will be when we deal with more clearing into Friday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning. That will allow those temperatures to drop into the single digits. Now, after this, like we discussed, what are we watching then after Friday morning? Well, by Friday evening, we're watching snow moving back into the area. This is not snow showers. This is not scattered. It's more of a widespread snow back into the area. And yes, we could be talking more accumulations and we could be talking more impacts coming our way. And the timing of this, again, will be at the end of the day Friday. So for the drive home Friday, for the drive into work Friday morning, we're likely not dealing with this snow. But again, shortly after that drive home, this is when that snow will likely break out across the area. So into Friday evening and then continuing Friday night. This will carry over into Saturday morning. And then this more widespread snow Saturday morning, waking up Saturday morning, will likely then taper to more of just some lingering snow showers into much of the day Saturday. That can carry over early Saturday night, then will likely dry up for the remainder of the weekend. That center of low pressure stays towards our south, so precipitation type not in question this time around, and likely not getting a big event out of this, right? But it doesn't take much snow to cause some slippery road conditions and some impacts, and we'll certainly see that, I think, going into Saturday. So just be prepared. If you have plans on traveling anywhere Saturday morning, just keep in mind you're likely going to be dealing with some slippery road conditions. If you can hold off a bit later into the day Saturday, even late morning, midday, I think you'll see a pretty big improvement in the, especially main roads at that point, going into the latter part of Saturday. But certainly right in the early morning hours Saturday, you could still be dealing with slippery road conditions across the area before, especially those main roads are likely drastically improve by the latter part of the morning, when a lot of this more widespread snow will start to come to an end. So in terms of accumulations, again, it's really still a bit too early to dive into the specifics, but this does look like more of a lower amounts, right? A lower end snow event. This does not look like we're piling up 5, 6, 7+ inches of snow like what we saw in some spots of the Ohio Valley from this previous event earlier this week. Likely not going to be dealing with that much snow. This looks lighter than that. But that being said, in terms of the snow accumulations, when we break it down by odds, I think there's a good chance we're dealing with an inch plus of snow with this event. Now, the chances start to drop off when we're talking about more than especially a few inches of snow. I think there's decent odds we're dealing with 2+ inches of snow across the area, but 3+ and 4+ inches of snow, you'll see that's where the odds really start to fall off. So really, this is a decent chance for 1-2 inches, maybe in some spots 2 to 4 inches. So that's really what we're looking at. I think with this event is we're good odds for an inch or two of snow, but anything more than that, the odds will start to drop off. Not to say it's not possible. I mean, it is possible we get 3 to 4 inches out of this, but I think the better odds is more on the order of just a couple, right? So again, it's on the lower end, but that's all it takes. It doesn't take much to cause those slippery road conditions. Even just a coating to an inch can cause slippery road conditions. So we're still going to use some caution going into Saturday morning. But thankfully, a lot of the snow tapers off earlier on in Saturday morning. And then we're left with some snow showers. Don't get me wrong, could still cause some slippery road conditions at times in spots in the remainder of Saturday. But it definitely gives crews a chance to get out and clear a lot of these main roads into the latter part of Saturday morning. And then by Sunday, we're likely dry. Then we'll be watching by the time we extend into early next week. This is when we could be dealing with some more snow showers coming our way early on into next week. So it really is just a one round after the other. In terms of early next week, it doesn't look like a big event either. Early next week, this would be light as well. Probably even a bit lighter than what we're going to see Friday night into Saturday. So, but it all adds up, right? And again, it doesn't take much. We'll be dealing with some probably more wintry impacts with that next round, of which is still likely some light snow, but could be dealing with more wintry impacts early next week as well. Every night is a good night for 1 to 2 inches of snow. SC Penguins fan says, what an account. It says a good night for 1 to 2 inches of snow. Yeah, it caused some headaches in the morning, that's for sure, dealing with 1 to 2 inches of snow. But yeah, that's what we could be looking at going into Saturday morning. And again, not to say we can't pile up 3-4 inches of snow. It's still possible. It's not off the table. But anything more than that, I don't think we're going to squeeze it out of this system into Saturday. I think this is a low amount event. And again, once we get closer to the Saturday, by Thursday, Friday, that's when we'll really start to hammer down in the finer details, the snow maps, everything starts to come out, and we'll dive into more specific on the impacts, the timing. That's when we'll dive into the more specifics Friday night to Saturday morning. So again, take everything right now, take it with a grain of salt, especially if you're seeing, I know that's happened with this previous event where we saw a lot of model data just being posted to the internet. We saw a lot of models showing the snowfall amounts, and you got to take any of that you're seeing right now with a grain of salt and wait a little bit closer to the event, at least wait a day or two out from that event. And that's when we'll start to really iron out the finer details. And again, here near term, not too much with these snow showers, likely just a coating to an inch from what we'll see as we go through tomorrow. Again, coatings at times and spots, right? Not too much, but it's enough to still deal with some slick spots, slippery road conditions at times and spots, however you want to word it as we go through tomorrow. And then we'll be watching with some sunshine returning Thursday for a cold start to Friday with those temperatures single digits. And then we'll dive into that event Friday night into Saturday here coming up later into the week. Later into the week. Kristen says, is it spring yet? Not quite. Not quite. We're certainly in the grasp of winter right now, and the coldest time of the year proving it. Mother Nature proving it, right? And we're dealing with a long stretch here of our high temperatures not even reaching 32 degrees. And I think there's a good chance this could be the longest stretch that we've had in over a decade across the Ohio Valley. So we're finally getting a real cold stretch of weather. Not any extreme cold into these mornings, right? Certainly very cold with that single digit reading Friday morning, but we're not dealing with any negative digits. We're not dealing with any negative digit to negative teens, wind chills, or any, nothing really extreme, but this is certainly a prolonged cold snap that we have not had. There's no warm up in this looking ahead going through the middle of this month. And that's something we haven't seen, a prolonged cold snap. And since likely at least 2010, this could very well rival at least then. So again, it's been over 10 years since we've been dealing with this cold of a stretch in across the Ohio Valley. How much snow for Shadyside for Saturday morning, Diane? Yeah, it's still a little too early to call specifics across our area. But again, this is probably a lower end event. So what do I mean by that? We're talking a couple inches, an inch, maybe a few, right? We're not going to deal with a whole lot from this, but still enough. You're talking about a couple few inches. That's still enough to cause slippery road conditions Saturday morning. I don't foresee this repeating what we had with that 5, 6, 7 inches plus that we had across especially south of I-70. We're not going to reach to that extent. For those locations that only saw 1 to 2 inches further north of I-70, yeah, we could reach that and maybe even exceed that. So, for those locations, if you've had a lot of snow this last time around, you're likely not going to pick up that much again this time around Friday night into Saturday morning. Sam says the good thing is at least there's not a mosquito in sight. There we go. That's true. No mosquito in sight. No mosquito in sight. I've always heard too, these cold stretches, this prolonged cold, we've had some very mild winters the past couple of winters, a very short stretch of cold weather. It was last January, but overall these winters have been very mild, and I know that does not help with insects the following season. I know it makes it worse, so especially dealing with those ticks. I know that these mild winters not good for those. So hey, this is at least we're dealing with this cold snap. That's good for that, right? At least it's good for that. It'll help into this following summer and fall. Hopefully, cut down on how many ticks we have to deal with into the following summer. What's coming to Weirton, West Virginia? I wish we were getting a foot of snow. Oh boy, not quite this time. Not quite this time around. We're dealing with a lot lower amounts than that. But yeah, what's coming to Weirton again? Not much, Terry. This is still a great chance for an inch plus of snow, decent chance for 2+ inches. And then from there, the chances start to drop off. 3+ is possible. 4+ is likely not going to occur. So that's what we're looking at with the odds. And again, still too early to draw specifics and iron out the specifics. It's just we got to give it another day or two. Once we get to Thursday, Friday, this is when we'll really start to dive into specific snow amounts, specific impacts for the weekend. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for joining. Of course, you can stay tuned with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Exline tomorrow morning. I'll be right back here tomorrow evening. We'll give the latest on those snow showers, that very cold Friday morning. And yes, of course, every day here going into the weekend, we'll keep you updated on the latest with that potential for the snow amounts and impacts going into your weekend to give you an idea on maybe what to plan around traveling Saturday morning. So make sure to stay tuned for the latest. We'll keep you guys updated going into the weekend. All right, everyone. Have a great night.